Hello and welcome to Two Girls in a Pod. I am Sharon.
I'm Christy, and we are talking about today energy management.
Don't you just even like the title of that?
Well, it's interesting because I think that, a lot of times you don't realize how much of an energy exchange there is between people when you are attending events or things like that. I mean, sometimes it can be something fun that you're going to or that, and you just don't realize how much sometimes it can drain you. And it's just a matter of, it's sort of like, I don't know, I kind of feel this way when I have people into my home. Like there's a little bit of pressure on I'm entertaining, and there's an energy exchange that happens there. And so I am aware of that.
There's truth to that. But you know what I think is interesting? When you're talking about energy, and it just came to my head right now, is when people come to our home, they always say, we like the feel of your home.
Yeah.
And that's an energy.
Mhm.
We intentionally do things in our home so that it's inviting.
Mhm. We like for it to feel pretty calm, zen. We call our home our sanctuary. And I really hope that's what it is for people. I feel like their home should be that, that
Ex-
place that you can go and replenish yourself, your soul.
And so even in that, when people say that statement, I wonder if they ever sit there and think, that's energy. But we don't. We'll just say, I like the feel of your home.
Yeah, I think a lot of times
Yeah.
that's what we hear. That's the feedback we get. And I don't know if they really understand that either. That is about the energy that you have there.
We want everybody who comes into our home to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, not too comfortable, but no.
Don't want to extend your stay.
When you said that too about when you go to concerts or you're around a lot of people, it's really, really, really fun. And then by the time you get home, you're just extremely drained. It's because it's an exchange of energy.
Exactly.
You put out a lot of energy there,
Yeah, and you don't realize it,
unless you're a dud.
you don't realize it sometimes until you get home and you're, like, exhausted and you think, "Wow, I didn't really do a lot. I visited with people, I sat around, I
Maybe
drank."
dance a little.
Yeah, I drank something and I ate some food, and what did I do? I wasn't exercising or that, but I feel drained. But that is that exchange of energy when there's a lot of people around. I mean, we all put off an energy, this this bubble that we have, and I think people pick up on stuff.
I agree. And I think, other things that people don't understand is sometimes some people are more empathic than others.
Yeah.
And if you don't know you're empathic and you go around and you just feel it can feel very overwhelming,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
So you kind of have to,
Yeah, it's like when you have an event that is just highly charged energy that is this is a perfect example to me, and even though a lot of people wouldn't view this as a heightened energy kind of thing. I remember when I used to have to take CPR classes and that. And after we would spend a day of doing that, I would sleep so hard that night. And that wasn't even an emergency situation. Now, I would not be a paramedic. That is not my calling. And I'm so grateful that there are people out there that can handle that kind of stress.
you talk about a quick energy thing. I have to nurse myself sometimes because blood, things like that. Nursey nurse, she is not. And she makes that
Mhm.
very clear.
Mhm.
Not before we got together. It was after we got together. Then she goes, oh, by the way, if your finger or you're bleeding out, I'm sorry. I'm not the one to call. No. Talk about a shift in energy there.
Right. But I think it was a perfect example to me because I would stay so in such a heightened thing, just even learning about that, that by the time I was done with that class, I was so exhausted.
Because it's energy of life and death.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's not real, it's a dummy. But
Yeah.
you're in there thinking, oh my God, if I had to do this, what
Yes.
would I do?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking the whole time, God, please don't let me ever have to use any of this.
Oh Lord, I'm in trouble.
Well, it's true though, and
Yes.
it zaps you.
But that's a really good point to talk about that energy. In not only is there an exchange of energy with other people, but we will have a heightened energy sometimes, even if other people don't.
Mhm.
So it's whatever creates that within us.
Mm.
But I'm telling you, there are some times, you're just there like and what I do, I'm navigating energy all the time. People just don't understand that. Our thoughts are energy. Our emotion is an energy.
Yeah.
And I'll know some days more than other days, and I'll tell her, "I used a lot of energy today." And people would sit there and say, "You sit at a desk or you sit and talk to people." That can be hella hard sometimes because there's energy being exchanged. There's emotion is energy. Thoughts are energy.
Mhm.
So to be aware of that is super important,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know? And it's being able to learn to use your energy to your advantage.
Mhm.
Sometimes other people's do, no.
Yeah. But sometimes I think that in doing that, you have to have some boundaries in that. If you know that you have certain goals and stuff like that that you wanna meet in that, and sometimes you've got to stay focused, you have to be aware of what you the energies you expose yourself to. Sometimes you have to protect your energy.
That's a really good point, and I don't know if people really think about that we often sometimes, even when we're in certain places, we might have that icky feeling. They're like, "Oh, that's icky," or sometimes we come across people and it just doesn't feel right.
Mhm.
Sometimes people, instead of setting that boundary of saying, I don't like this, I think I'm gonna leave," they'll almost sit there and say they'll talk themselves into staying
Mhm.
or engaging with people or things like that.
Mhm.
And sometimes we've learned to just trust our energy and the feel of it.
And understanding your own boundaries around things. So, I mean, when you're like I said, maybe you have a goal of something that you're trying to do or that, and you're trying to stay on track with something. Sometimes you don't engage, even if it's something fun that you enjoy doing or that, but maybe it's not in the best interest of what you're trying to accomplish, then maybe you kind of separate yourself out from, somebody invites you to a party and it's the night before or something you have going on that you're going to do the next day. Maybe abstaining from doing that is probably in your best interest. You kind of have to weigh what's going on with you. I think that's a part of protecting that energy.
Exactly, because I think what happens is if you do have that event, but then you go to this party or whatever, now you pick up on the energy of that, and your brain almost convinces you, "Well, you have 8 hours to sleep. Go on ahead and party till 8 hours," or whatever that is. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And you're right. So it's kind of protecting that energy and saying, "This is important to me," because energy influences energy.
Mhm.
So once again, if you're there thinking, "Oh, man, I gotta go take this big test, but that's okay. I think I can" don't work that way because you get to that place and I mean, there are some people who can do it. They are very good. "I can go here, I can do this, and I'm not gonna engage," or whatever. A lot of people can't. So
Yeah.
then when they get there, it's like pretty soon it's like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll have 1 drink. Well, what the heck, I'll have 3 drinks." And by 3 drinks, you have to be up at 6 the next morning and it's not happening, or you go and you take this test and now you didn't do as well. So now you beat yourself up and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But once again, energy influences energy.
Mhm.
And so you have to be aware of that when you're going into these situations. What is the boundary I'm gonna set for what's important for me?
Yeah.
And not fall into whatever that energy is that's going on.
Exactly. I mean, I think that a lot of times it turns out to be self-sabotaging because, if you have something that you're trying to do and you don't have those kind of boundaries in place, then you just feel bad.
You know what I think is interesting to me is when we're so excited because we're gonna go to you gotta go Red Rocks for a concert, which has been kind of a thing that you've really wanted to do, and it's phenomenal. If you have not done Red Rocks Amphitheater, oh my goodness, you got to. The sound is amazing. It's just a great concert. But we're gonna go see T-Pain and Lil Jon,
Yep.
so very excited about that. But how many times I've been to concerts and I watch people and they go there and they get so drunk because the energy
Yeah.
that they don't even remember the concert,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Well, how was the concert?" "I don't know." They're like, "You paid how much for this?" But once again, you talk that's heightened energy,
Yeah.
really heightened energy when you go to these things.
Mhm.
That's a lot of people. and they're excited, and pretty soon you're excited, and on and on and on, and the next thing you know, you're patas para arribas,
Yeah.
which for us means drank too much, and now you're on the ground with your feet up in the air. Loose
Yeah,
translation.
right.
But you're right that when we start to understand that exchange of energy, we can set a boundary around it.
Mhm.
Oftentimes people say, "How do I protect myself?" Well, sometimes there's yucky stuff going on or whatever, and I could feel that. What do I do? And sometimes you can just block energy with your body language and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But they'll have an awareness for, or you may even notice that with you. If you're standing by somebody and all of a sudden you're sitting there and you cross your arms and your legs and everything, that's kind of like and it feels a little bit different. We block energy and stuff. But I tell people, you have to be aware of what's going on with you because sometimes you think it's you.
Yeah, exactly.
You start freaking out or whatever.
Mhm. But I think once you bring it into your awareness, and like I said, it's not always that it's like being in a negative
Mhm.
situation, because going to concerts, festivals, parades, whatever it is, where there's a lot of people, there is a lot of energy exchange. And sometimes it can be a great thing and full of hype, and you're getting that energy vibe and that's wonderful.
You can also notice, when you go and you maybe aren't in a really good place when you're going to these events, but about 10 minutes in, you don't even realize your mood has shifted and you're now in this other place. That's that because we're not aware of it. We're not aware of all those things that are going on, that are going on.
Yeah.
That exchange of energy is powerful. It's important. And it's also important for you to realize what is your energy that you're putting off because other people pick up on it.
Yeah. It's like even when maybe you have a lot to do, but so for example, I felt this after like last year we sponsored Gay Pride and had a really good time while we were there and just talked with a lot of wonderful people, and but at the end of that I was exhausted, and it was a positive thing, but it just when you're in the middle of doing something, you want to make sure that you're getting all the information to people that they need or want, and sometimes it can be taxing.
Absolutely, and because it's so many different energies,
Mhm.
it
Well,
really is.
you're staying in a heightened state of being aware and alert of what's happening around you, and yeah.
And, because it's an exchange of energy, when you have that energy, guess what? People are taking yours too,
Yeah,
and you're giving it away freely, and that's why sometimes you feel that. So, that's what I think you were talking about when you set those boundaries.
exactly.
Sometimes it's like, "I can only do this for about 15 minutes," or no. I tell people, "Put a time on it, and then if you feel like you can extend it out, you're doing okay, then you can extend it out, but know that you always get to be the one to say when something ends,"
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know?
and sometimes you need to take some time out and just space yourself away from everything.
When we're talking about that and particularly if you're working on bettering yourself in any way, shape, or form, these are some things that are important to know about who you are. What is my energy?
Mm.
When I'm going in and if I'm going in to apply for a job or ask for a loan for a new business, what is my energy?
People will always talk about the person that can come in with exuding that confidence, and that is an energy. And you see that with people. I mean, when they have that, there is a command that they have and a presence, and it's powerful.
And it can even confuse people who are doing interviews. So
Mhm.
you can have somebody who comes in who maybe doesn't have the best qualifications, but they come in and they believe in themselves and their
Yeah.
energy is high and stuff. And so you're there like, huh, you're looking down at your paper. "Hmm, well, they didn't answer that question quite." But there's something about them.
Yeah.
And sometimes, believe it or not, those are the people who get the jobs
Mhm.
because they're exuding that energy of confidence and I can bring something to you and nobody's going to deter them.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about energy, it is those when you have an emotion and those kind of things and how that's an energy signal that we are giving out.
Yes, exactly, and I think it's wonderful when you can find that group of people that can really reciprocate that with you, and those are the people a lot of times that you can, be creative and collaborate with, and just being aware of not only the energy that you're receiving, but what you're putting off. It's really important.
And even when you're gonna do a collaboration, if your energies aren't matching, then it makes it extremely difficult.
Mhm, may fall flat, literally.
Yes,
Yeah.
and sometimes you might think, "Well, why isn't this working? I feel like this person and I were both interested in the same stuff, and I'm really excited about this." But then what you realize is the other person is talking the talk, but you're not feeling that confidence. You're not feeling they're not exuding the same thing that you are.
Yeah.
You're not feeling that match, and you're not feeling that connection on that energy level that says, "Oh, this is gonna be successful."
Mhm.
And I think those are the things we have to look at a lot of the times is what is that energy that we are presenting to other people?
Mhm. I think another example of that, you and I, we watch a lot of movies or whatever we're watching, we will talk about the chemistry between different stars on that movie. And it that I feel like is sort of an energy thing. You can tell when they just have that good chemistry.
Oh my goodness. And how many of you guys really do that? And you get really excited to watch a movie or something or a series, and then you start watching it and it feels flat. And then sometimes you'll step away and say, those 2 actors to get it's not resonating with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes even as actors, it's acting a part, but there's an energy to it and a connectedness. And I think especially when it's gonna be something more, like romantic or something,
Yeah.
or the opposite. If it's something that's highly aggressive or angry and you're watching them, but it's those extremes
Mhm.
that you'll find, yeah, I don't get it. And I'm not feeling that, man.
Yeah. But it's interesting because I feel like that you can see it in that aspect.
Yeah. And I think those are the things that you're talking about, when and even if you're watching performances by others,
Mhm.
what is their energy level? I know I went to a concert, I won't say who it was. I was there like, why is this person performing? Their energy was off. They sat the whole time. It was like low, low energy. It was very bizarre. I had never been to a concert where the energy was so low. But guess what? I turned around, looked at the audience, and the audience energy was low.
Wow.
It was so bizarre.
That must have been a very boring concert.
It was. I was just thinking, oh my God, will this ever end?
Yeah.
And it wasn't that the performer was bad. They had lots of good music, hits, all that. I was just blown away, and I thought, "I'm hoping this is maybe this person is just not feeling well. I'm hoping that the next time they perform, it's different." It really confused me because
Mhm.
we like concerts. This is pre us, but even then, I like concerts. Would go to it, and I had never experienced that.
Yeah. Well, that would be kind of strange for a concert, I would
I
think.
know. I was just there like, "This doesn't even make sense."
Yeah.
Once again, it was the energy just was not there. It wasn't like I felt like this performer really cared one iota about being there. Then it wasn't like there was any enthusiasm in the songs that they were it was just really weird,
Yeah.
but it stuck out in my head. It was
Mhm.
so profound the way this energy played out.
Yeah. I think it's really important to just be aware of, like I say, just your energy and that. I think that another example that you'll see, even the heightened energy that people get into when there's finals and those kinds of things. And then after it's all done, what happens? The body gets sick. They were all stressed out, and it's that energy.
Yeah, stress is an energy, people, and
Hmm.
when you have that and it that but kinda does this little elevation, you can feel it, but guess what? The people around you can feel it too.
Yeah.
Because there's an exchange of energy once again, and sometimes when you're stressed, the other person you have that all the time when I do couples. Well, I don't know why they're acting that way, but they can feel it, but they don't know how to describe it. And then when we start working on what are you feeling? Why is it happening? Well, he or she is saying this, but doesn't feel that way. And then we'll say, okay, but what were you really feeling? And the person says, well, I just didn't want to burden them. You sitting there telling them nothing's wrong when they're feeling this.
Yeah.
It's like it slams right into them, and that's an exchange of energy. But had the person just talked about, "I'm feeling this," and the person goes, "Oh, okay, then I'm not gonna bug you anymore. You go on ahead and do that." But now I don't have to sit there, "Is anything wrong? Is anything wrong?"
How many times do couples do that? You can tell.
Continuously. No.
You can tell when something is off, there's something a little amiss in their, energy, and maybe trying to figure it out. Maybe they don't even know what it is or that, but you will feel it.
I always love because oftentimes you'll see when people go to parties and then they go home, and I will hear this even in my couples counseling. They'll go home and the woman will say to the husband, "Oh my God, why are Bob and Sally fighting? What do you mean Bob and Sally are fighting? I didn't feel Bob and Sally, I didn't see it." And it's because they're picking up on the energies.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can pick up with on when you just don't talk and
Mhm.
sometimes just pay attention.
Yeah,
You're picking up on a lot of stuff. Some
exactly.
of some good stuff.
Some.
I don't know why Bob and Sally were fighting. Tell me what Bob and Sally are fighting.
Did you get the scoop?
Is there a good story there? Come on now. No, but seriously, those are kind of some of the things we're talking about. Energy is very important. But if you understand your energy, it's going to propel you to better things for you.
Well, and to bring people more into your frequency rather than you moving to theirs. Because if there's a negativity or something like that, you don't that's not the headspace you wanna be in.
And oftentimes we see that sometimes when, as therapists, when people are in learning more about themselves and becoming more positive and they're trying to exude that, it freaks the people out around them, and so there's a lot of sabotage that happens. Not
Mhm.
on a conscious level, it's just because 'cause
No.
they're picking up on the energy and they don't know what that's about, and it's like, "Oh my god, if they get to be happy, will they leave me?" I mean, all sorts of stuff goes on, when there's a whole montage of stuff, but once again, that's what it is, they're picking up on that energy,
Mhm.
and then there's fears, there's this, but, if you're at that place, you're gonna invite that kind of energy to you also. So it can be positive and it can be negative.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people, I don't understand. Why do I keep attracting the same person? Because you're putting out the same frequency.
Yeah.
You're looking for the same thing.
Mhm.
And even if they don't know it at the beginning, it's like magnets. Energy is a magnet.
Yeah.
And some of you out there, you have friends or you've done it and you're sitting there thinking, uh-huh, yep, that was me. Or, oh yeah, that's little Susie over there. She does that all the. Why does she keep picking her? Why does he keep picking it? That's why, because we're giving a signal and we don't even
Exactly.
realize it.
And it's a scientific fact that we put off an electromagnetic energy and people can feel it. They can pick up on those things.
Energy attracts energy. It really
Mhm.
is like a magnet. So if you're there and you keep asking yourself, why do I keep having the same people in my life? Start viewing yourself as a magnet and understand you're attracting that. And if you want it to be different, flip the magnet so that you're repelling that.
Mhm.
And then you can then bring in other like-minded energy, those things that are gonna help resonate with you and help you to get to that next level.
Exactly. You have to be aware of what you are allowing, and sometimes it's difficult. Like I say, maybe you have a goal, maybe it's a weight loss goal or something like that. And maybe you have certain friends that you hang out with. That's all they want to do is, I don't know,
Go eat
but
donuts.
yeah, something like that. That is not in alignment with your goal. And sometimes you have to look at that. How much time and energy do you put into that relationship when you are trying to better yourself if that person's not willing to hear you?
And their energy is maybe not where yours is. Maybe they're perfectly fine where they're at physically or whatever, and you have to be aware of that. So then maybe it's how do I set, yeah, as you said, the boundaries around the energy of me, my journey that I'm on. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, we can meet up, but it's going to be in the park and there's going to be no donuts.
Yeah. Yeah, because people even without it's not even like with malicious intent, they maybe wanna just hang out or, and they're viewing it as a positive thing, but they don't understand how it's sabotaging.
Yes, and the thing is we sabotage our own energy on a daily and don't realize it. Intuition, in we've all heard that, and oftentimes people say a woman's intuition
Mm,
and stuff like, but intuition is an energy, and basically what intuition is, you're picking up on stuff that's not verbal.
yeah.
You're picking up on other things that are resonating with you. So you're having an intuition, it's like you're picking up on that, and it's a very strong message, and oftentimes, some people are really good at their intuition. Oh my goodness. They're extremely good at it, and, you could almost sit there and say, "Well, what do you feel about that?" Or, they'll just feel it and they'll disengage from it, they'll know what to do with it. It's an amazing thing. We read the book, The Audacity to Be Queen by Gina DeVee, and she talks about that. She's coming from a female point of view, but she's talking about the feminine intuition and how it's been squashed,
Yeah.
how that energy of the woman, which is a powerful energy for her, how it's been squashed over years and years and years and years.
Mhm.
They'll say, "Oh, I feel this is going." Oh, no, you're just
Overreacting.
yeah, or people minimize it.
Yeah.
So therefore, then they stop trusting their intuition, that energy piece of them, so they put it down. Well, then that's also a vital part of maybe them in business and stuff, but they're not using that vital part because now it's been squashed.
Right.
So in order to do that, you have to take back that thing of saying, "No, I may not know the words for it, but I know this is going on."
Yeah.
But that's another really great book,
Mhm.
uh, to read, amazing stuff in it. But that's what it is. It's that thing of other people minimizing that energy level that you have, sometimes because they don't understand it, because it's a little bit out of their comfort zone sometimes, or just their understanding.
Yeah.
Because in order for us to evolve and become better versions of who we are, we have to be aware of what goes on internally with us.
Yeah.
We have to be aware of our own energy and what is our energy signal.
Mhm.
When I go in the room, when I step into a room, what is that energy signal that I want to be there? When I am working with clients, I want my energy to be one of confidence, of knowledge, because I don't want them to go in there and feel like they're talking to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
You don't wanna go to your surgeon and ask your surgeon, "Well, how long will surgery take?" "I don't know. I guess it's hit and miss." You're like, "No, good lord, you want somebody who's knowledgeable.
Right.
You want them to exude confidence.
Yeah.
You want them to be able to answer questions. If they're not, you go, "Ooh, it's a little scary. Don't know if I want that surgeon."
Mhm.
But do you see what I mean? We do that when we're meeting people. Doctors are a big thing. You pick up on that and you'll go and say, "Yeah, I don't like that doctor. I don't feel like that doctor connected with me." It's an energy thing.
Exactly.
So being aware of that. So all we're talking about here is having the awareness to your own energy and having the awareness to other people's energy, knowing when you have to put the boundaries up when you're feeling those things, because it's not cognitive, it's not brain, it
Mm-mm.
is a feeling, and trusting in those things.
And usually you'll feel it in the gut first.
All the time. Well, some people do, other
Yeah.
people but a majority of it's in the gut. You start having that, mm, real weird tingly sensation even like, "Yeah, this is mm-mm." We feel energy all the time, and once again, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Energy is just energy.
Mhm.
Sometimes it resonates with us and sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, what do we do differently?
Right.
But understanding that for you to get to the place where you wanna be, you have to be aware of your own energy. And if you're not getting where you need to be and you keep feeling like, "Man, I'm working, working, working," pay attention. What is the energy I'm putting off? Am I putting off an energy that says I'm confident, that I'm knowledgeable, that I this, and this?
Yeah.
You've gotta have that.
Yep.
And so take the time, learn more about who you are, learn about your energy, learn how you want to use it and direct it and help propel you to your goals, to whatever you view as successful. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's crazy.
Exactly. Managing your energy is your power.
It is, because then somebody else isn't managing it for you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if other people are managing your energy, you're not going to like it.
No.
You're going to be bitter and you're going to be angry and you're going to be doing the blame game and stuff until you realize, oh crap, I gave that away.
Exactly.
So manage your energy.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. It is a very powerful, powerful tool that we have that we do not utilize enough.
I agree.
So hopefully everybody out there, you'll take a little bit of jam here and there and learn to manage your energy, or realize, you know what, I am managing my energy and I didn't even know it. Yay. you know,
Yeah.
and as always, please reach out, share your ideas and your comments about what we're talking about. We love the interaction. Really, really love it. And you can do that at
twogirlsinapod.com. You can reach out to us and you can subscribe there. And anytime that we post a new episode, you will get an email notification. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram and Adventures of Two Girls in a Pod on YouTube. We would love for you to follow us.
Yes. And if you are listening, it's really, really important that you like or comment. It really, really helps us out. And we're at this place, we've been doing our podcast for 3 years. So we are asking people, please like, comment. It really helps us out and we appreciate it. And
Yes.
we're extremely grateful for everybody who listens. And once again, manage your energy,
Yeah.
pay attention to it, become friends with it. And we look forward to talking to y'all next week. So you guys have a really great week. And we hope that once again, there's a little gem in there for you guys. And once again, questions, comments, reach out to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.